Me partnering with integrity means I'm here to stay. As in, I love this industry. I'm more excited about it than I have ever been. As a matter of fact, I am like the tail number on my jet. I'm in 24/7. Are you?
We all got the same amount of time, and it's going to take a time, and it depends on how we use our time. But what do you got your mind set on? What do you got your mind set on? I love what Ray said earlier, and that's why Mike had her say it, because it's what you got your mind set on is what you're going to get. And she's got her mind set on agency manager by the end of November. And it's going to take time, and it's going to take money, and it's going to take patience. And Mike, I love that I have an opportunity to be a partner with $1 billion company. I said it at the agency managers meeting in Tampa. I was glad to hear your wife repeat what I had said at one of these meetings, I think at TWC about a month back, because it resonated. And it is something that's major, and all of us have an opportunity to grab it.
World, watch. You're going to see something you ain't never seen before. Is about ready to see what the Alliance can do, baby.
Alaska, baby. The last great frontier. Maybe, I don't know, Alaska. It's cold up there, that's why I got my jacket on, and they got ice glaciers. We're going to cruise Alaska. It's not just a cruise, it's a journey. The ovation of the seas. We are going cruising. And where are we going while we're cruising in Alaska? Juneau. Yes, I know, it's Juneau. It is the largest capital in the United States of America. You're gonna see orcas, you're gonna see humpback whales, you're gonna see them sea dogs, you're gonna see the sea sails, you're gonna see everything up in Juneau, because Juneau. Have you ever been dog sledding? You get on the back of the sled. Oh, look, you down like this right here. You know this right here? There's a country song that says, if I never get to see the Northern Lights, I bet you go on this cruise, you're gonna get to see the Northern Lights.
Hello.
Hey, could you mute them?
I did it. That was the part I thought you did all of them. But now with intro and intro.
Uh-oh. Intro is muted.
It's
All righty. Welcome, Alliance Nation. We are coming to you live from our Wilmington office. Excited to be with you here. We are Adam and Beth Gatz. Have been proud to be working with Andy and Jane Albright for the last 19 years at the Alliance, and excited of what the next 19 years is going to bring us. Real excited what the next 19 days, 19 weeks, 19 minutes, 19 months. It is just incredible what's going on with this team. It's incredible what's going on with this company. Especially since we just came off NatCon, the momentum, family reunion. It was family reunion that we just came off. But just the energy and excitement, and Andy's been sending graphs to me about how recruiting numbers are through the roof and everything else, and it's just crazy. So before we get rolling too much, though, let's start with our leaderboards like we like to do every week. We like to recognize those doing the do. Let's start with our, can we start with the TWC numbers, Stephen?
Give me 1 second.
Yep, no worries. Well, while he's pulling it up, I can start reading some of them off. All right, our top 3 life producers submit. Coming in at number 3, Mark Hutchison, part of the Davies team, with $15,281, 11 applications. Kyle and Janina coming in at number 2 with $17,134 submitted premium, 19 applications. And number 1 with from the Leventovich Agency with $32,256 of submitted premium, 49 applications. Just continuing to set the pace week after week after week. Just a model of consistency and steadiness. Just so proud of Megan Wood, once again leading everybody in submit production. All right, let's look at the top 12 issue paid. So submit, you got to turn it in to get paid on it, but you got to get it issued to actually protect the client. So let's look at our top 12 issue paid life producers. Coming in at number 12, we have David Coleman, part of Terry and Tia Edwards' team, with $8,518. Jeremico Edwards with $8,565, 14 applications. Strong week, Jeremico. Kyle and Nina coming in with $8,832, coming in at number 10. Chris Manifold, who is trained by Megan Wood and is a great duplicator. $9,021 issue paid, 15 applications. Brant and Jell Swindell down in Florida coming in with $9,159 of issue paid production. A new name to the boards, Tabitha Deniaskin. I'm sorry. I did my best, Tabitha. Part of Dr. Phil's team, $10,745. Hutch is coming in at number 6 with $11,481. Tim Tipton, who's out in Montana, picking up $14,047 of production. Rob Wilson, $14,323. Number 3, our top 3, Renee Safranek, part of Mike Rodriguez's team, with $14,720 of issue paid production. Henry Gonzalez, $18,000. Looks like he might have picked up a big IUL. $18,000 issue paid. Way to go, Henry. And number 1 with $27,912. 58 applications, 7 of them IULs. And that's one of the great things that Megan does week in and week out, is she has such a great knowledge and diversity of products that she submits and gets issued as well. That's one of the keys to her success is she has taken the time to learn the whole portfolio and become a master of her craft with everything. So, all right, scrolling down a little bit, we got our top 5 annuity producers. Joseph Dukes, number 5 with $97,089 issue paid annuity. Jeremy and Amy Patton at $100,000 issue paid. Jerry and Cassie Burbage also got $100,000 annuity issued. Marvin and Jalissa Otsoy with $102,348 issue paid. And then Vernon Schmidt with $200,740 annuity issue paid production. Great job there. Our top 3 Foresters producers, David Coleman, number 1, part of the Terry and Tia Edwards team with $8,518. Mark Disco, Sr. with $5,716. And Danny Johnson with $5,654 of just pure Foresters production. Our top 3 CVS producers, you do know CVS pays top comp for final expense. And what was it said? 80% of the U.S. population lives within 3 miles of a CVS. Something crazy like that. I mean, it's just great name recognition. So Jeremico Edwards leading us off with $5,511. Kyle and Janina with $3,759 of issue paid CVS production. And then James and Pam Alara out of Arizona with $2,831 issue paid production. So great job there. And then our top 10 recruiters. Look at that leaderboard. Riddled with riddle people. I'm sorry, I couldn't resist. With Olga and Jason and Andy Riddle, just exploding with the recruiting. So our top recruiters with 2 recruits this week, Eric Fuller, Mike and Kate Marisi, Jeremy and Amy Patton, Diane Lampy, Joseph Tu, and Jake and Veray Joseph, and Yennefer Camacho de Pina. Andy Riddle had 3 personal recruits this week, and then Kyle and Janina had 6, and Olga and Jason Mathis also with 6. So great job on the recruiting. Let's look at a couple other leaderboards real quick as we go through this. Let's look at the Alaskan Cruise. So notice number 1 up there in red. That's Megan Wood. Now, guys, this is August 11th. Megan has already qualified for a trip for 4 for the Alaskan Cruise, with over almost $500,000 of marketing credits. So just incredible stuff. We have Patton and Hutch and Richardson and Kraus all have already qualified Seattle. Let's look at the new qualifiers this week. We have Jerry and Cassie Burbage out of South Carolina. Congratulations, you're going to Alaska. Kyle and Janina out of Florida going to Alaska, new qualifiers. Chris Manifold is a brand new qualifier. And also Jared Gonzalez, a brand new qualifier for the Alaskan Cruise. You guys are going to Alaska. Put their stickers on the board. So that's exciting stuff to see that. And there's a manager's leaderboard that you could qualify as well. Stephen and Holly Davies leading us from the front on the managers. Let's look at the extreme leaderboard real quick. This is the people who, if the contest ended today, and fortunately for me and Beth, it does not end today, but we still got a shot. So you're saying there's a chance. But Andy is dividing up $1 million. $1 million. He's dividing up between all the Alaska winners. You can win it as a producer, you can win it as a manager, and you could actually qualify in both pots and take even more money. So if the contest ended today, we'll just do the top three. Megan Wood would get a check for, this is bonus, this is on top of all the money she's already making. This is just extra. $143,750.16. Take that to a bank and cash it, see what they'd look like. So that's at the contest ended today. Stephen and Holly Davies would receive a bonus check of $116,565. And Paul and Tamara Roberts would get a check for $106,906. By the way, Holly would stake claim to the bonus check as well, I'm pretty sure, in the Davies family. So right now there's 30 people that would be split in that $1 million, go anywhere from $7,345 all the way up to Megan Wood's $143,000. So just crazy talk. The qualifiers, the amount of the money. I mean, can you imagine how exciting it's going to be? Andy's going to be announcing these, giving away this money on stage to the Alaska winners at National Convention. Woo, you do not want to miss that. We'll talk more about that. Well, let's talk about that now. So National Convention coming up January 20th through the 23rd in Burlington, North Carolina. We are just coming off our family reunion, and you can already feel the buzz. You can see the momentum. Here's the beauty of it. You can see the immediate results that happen because of events like family reunion, like National Convention. And so the next time we're pulling everybody together, the whole country together, is going to be in January in Burlington. Tickets are $305 if you reserve them now. I believe you can still get the discounted rate of $305. Need to put $50 down and have it paid off by the end of the year. And here's what I would say. If you think you're going to make money with the Alliance, if you think you're going to be successful with the Alliance, if you believe your future is here with the Alliance, you want to be at National Convention. And you might as well commit now, break it up on the payment plan, make it easy, make it painless, and you want to get there. So our top managers, we'll go through the top 5 managers in terms of people already buying tickets for the convention. So these are folks that have already committed to coming. And keep in mind, guys, this is 6 months away. Stephen and Holly Davis have already gotten 37 people committed. This is just their base shop also. This doesn't count their whole hierarchy, just the base shop. They have 37 people already with tickets paid for coming to Burlington for NatCon. Patrick Connors with 26 tickets already sold. Alex Abian with 24. Mike and Noel Leventovich have 23. And then we are tied with Paul Roberts at 22 tickets for National Convention already sold. So guys, I would go ahead, be an early adopter. You can tell the people who are serious about where they're going in life by the way they make decisions. Here's what you want to do. And by the way, if I'm talking to somebody brand new, not even licensed yet, still going through licensing class, still trying to figure out, what is this thing all about and all of those kind of things. Here's what I would tell you. At the very least, take out your calendar, whether you do it on your phone or wherever you do your calendar, and block out the dates, January 20th through the 23rd, 2022. Because you don't even have to decide whether you're coming or not, but can you at least block out those days? Because what you don't want to do is we get closer to January and you realize, ooh, I need to go to that thing, and then you look at your calendar and it's like, oh, shoot. I allowed my mama to schedule something then. Or my cousin's wedding, when she asked me, do you have any problems with January? I could have told her, but now I can't tell her because she already. So go ahead and block it out on your calendar. And that way, when somebody asks you to help them move that weekend, you can say, I'd love to, but I already got something scheduled. So put that in. Go ahead and get your tickets, $50 down. A great way to go. One last leaderboard to look at, and then we'll get rolling with some other stuff. Let's look at the F&G study group. So this is Fidelity and Guarantee Life. They have some phenomenal IULs, the best illustrated product that we have, and it's just crazy what people can do, how they can save money tax-free for retirement. And they are going to fly down 10 people to sunny Florida. They put them up at the Fusion Resort right there in Treasure Island, and they're going to do some training, and Andy and Jane Albright are going to participate and do some training, take care of your hotel. They're going to take care of your meals. It's going to be an unbelievable time. So the top 10 people are going to get to go, the top 7 rookies and the top 3 rookies and the top 7 veterans are going to get to qualify. So it's based on IUL only issue paid production, and you have to do a minimum of 5 cases. Okay, so there are some people with more production, but they don't have the 5 cases yet. And so let's just look real quick at the top 7. If the contest ended today, which I believe this goes all the way through August 31st, 31st. Right now, but if the contest ended today, NP would be going, part of the ABTF. Marvin and Jalissa Otsoy would be flying in from Reno, Nevada. Doug Becker coming over from California. Awa Patton, part of the Otsoy team. Marisol Diaz Ramirez, part of the Otsoy team. How crazy is that? 3 of the top leaders are from the Otsoy team. Is it maybe because Marvin is leading from the front? That's what you call duplication right there. That's a great job there, Marvin. Shavonda Griffin, part of Lou Abadi's team. And Joseph Tu would be the ones that qualify as veterans. And the top 3 rookies would be Mitchell Jones, Elena Emadobi, and Maddie and Miguel Gonzalez. So those would be the ones who are going to travel and going to have everything taken care of for them. It is an open meeting in the sense that if you want to go, you can register and go. There's plenty of space for the people who want to go to it. They're just not going to pay for your food in your hotels. Only the winners get everything taken care of. So, all righty. I think we covered the leaderboards pretty good.
People winning.
Let me ask you guys this as we get into this. Dalen, what did listening to the leaderboards do for you? I know why Andy does it every single week and why he promotes the people who are achieving and doing things. What does it do for your mindset and help you in terms of getting your mind right going into the rest of the week?
It just shows me, where it's possible that I can get to. I've done 3 IULs in the last 3 weeks, but I'm not on that leaderboard. And that was frustrating for me. So I'm like, man, I need to get out there and I need to hunt up 3 or 4 more IULs in the next 2 weeks. So that F&G study group, being around the other leaders and learning from the carriers, that it's invaluable. So and you keep saying duplicate. I've already started taking my notes here. You said that 3 or 4 times, and focusing on duplicating the people that are having success. Listening to, going back and listening to Marvin Otsoy on that TWC a couple months ago, talking about how he does IULs, that I need that. So it gets me excited because I know that it's possible.
Absolutely. What a great point. I love the fact you're referencing a TWC from a few months ago. Guys, this is all stored for us. On the Alliance Media app, through the YouTube channel, you can go back and listen to old recordings of these calls. We tend to become a prisoner of the moment and whatever the hot thing is and what are they talking about today. But John Wooden said, if you never leave the basics, you never have to go back to the basics. And taking advantage of these trainings that we have out there, that the Alliance Media app, you can, while you're exercising or driving around in your car, you could be listening to some of these older trainings that are so relevant today. The Brian Tracy interview that Andy did with them, both of them are still on there, but the June 2nd one, the first one he did, it's just incredible training and knowledge and just sitting there with a notepad. Beth, what have leaderboards meant for you? We've we're not the most competitive in terms of needing, we're more the golden retrievers than the lions in terms of that, but we do pay attention. So what is when Andy goes through these leaderboards and we look at all of these things, what does it kind of do to your mindset?
Well, it certainly shows what's possible. Like when you see Megan Wood's numbers, then suddenly it takes your excuses away of, well, I'm a single mom, or I've got this challenge, or whatever has been your reason or excuse for not doing, it tends to take it away because you see somebody else who is in that same situation who's winning. And so it shows what's possible. And I truly believe that a rising tide raises all ships. So when we see the Alliance as a team winning, then we know we're on the right place, that we are in the right environment, that we're surrounding ourselves with the right people, and this is a place where your dreams can come true. You just gotta go out and do the work. And the people whose names are on the leaderboards, they are doing something. They're not just sitting back and cheering, they're out there doing. And I love that example, and I'm so thankful for the example they provide.
Yeah, one of the things I've always admired about Andy is he doesn't teach from theory, and he doesn't put people on calls, and he doesn't put people on stage and do trainings out of theory. The people he has doing the teachings are the ones who have actually accomplished what they're teaching. And that's exciting to know, especially as a former teacher, because I didn't have to actually do history to be able to teach history. but here, one of our favorite sayings is this: love is given, respect is earned. And when we go through the leaderboards each week, it builds that confidence, it builds that belief. Here's the other thing it does for me. It's like, all right, I may not be as good as Megan Wood, but by gosh, I'm at least half as good as Megan Wood. Maybe at least I'm a third as good as Megan Wood. And you see Nina Wilson's numbers and Hutch's numbers, and they're consistently, Rob Wilson's numbers, they're consistently, and you see these people over and over again, and it's like, all right, they're doing something different than what I'm doing. Here's the good news. I have access to the same things they have access to. All I got to do is just keep every single week, just keep listening. Let it drive me, let it build me up and say, what are they doing different and how can I tweak what I'm doing? Does that make sense? So that's one of the big things why I love the leaderboards as far as that goes. All right, so we've got a group of people on with us and excited you guys could join us. Coming off convention, the family reunion, I know you guys came out of it on fire and you went into it on fire. And that's the biggest exciting thing. So let's talk about, what we're going to talk about today is building a $500,000 leg. How to build a $500,000 organization, and also how the new comp system ties in with the strategies behind it. Okay, but let's start with this. Let's start with why would you want to? Think about what the Alliance opportunity is, and what attracts people to it, and what you can do with it. Linda, if you would talk a little bit about why you think the Alliance opportunity, the twofold opportunity, obviously you got the sales side, but also the business building side. What makes it unique, and what was it that caught your eye as a former business owner, as somebody who was well invested in brick and mortar properties and things like that? What is it about the Alliance model that really, really caught your attention? And why would you want to build an organization that's doing 500,000?
I think the biggest thing for me is the control that we have with it. When you own a business and you invest, for example, one of the businesses we did were restaurants, and we could control a lot of it. We could control what it looked like, what the feel of the atmosphere was, what the chefs were, the management of it, the service level, and then we had to go market and find the client. And that you can control the marketing, but you can't control the results. Then you also, things you can't control are like the weather, right? COVID outbreak, right? These are things that are out of your control. And so the scary when you own a brick and mortar business is you have all this financial investment. and you've controlled all the things you can, and then you are subject to all the things you can't control, and you still have this massive overhead and financial investment. And here I was like, you mean I can get a lead, I can make a phone call, and I can go make $1,000. That's it. I mean, I can control that all day long with my activity. And the marketing's done, so that part's there. The clients are there, and it's all in my hands. And that is from someone who wants to go create something more than just a paycheck job. This is like the best business model I've ever worked on, and I've worked on a few too. But for me, it's that was the big thing. I'm like, if I can put in this activity, I will get these immediate results, and it's all in my hands. And I love that. I love that about this.
Yeah, that is awesome, Matt. Matt Hughes, when you first took a look at the Alliance, you had your fingers in 5 different pies, I believe, or was this your 5th pie that you were putting your finger? Tell everybody what your background is, the number of things what you were doing when you first looked at the Alliance, and what was it that caught your eye? Were you really just coming in to make some sales and make an extra couple $100, or what was it that caught your eye day one?
Yeah. So I'm Matt Hughes. My job before I joined the Alliance, I had 4. I'm a paramedic full time still. CNA in a nursing home. Been doing that for around 7 years. Lab instructor for Johnson County Community College. Been doing that for like 3 or 4 years. And then, so I think I was doing 4 jobs. And then when my COVID hit, one of my nursing home job wouldn't let me back for a little bit because of quarantine. I was like, man, I filled my 4th gap, I need to fill that 4th gap in my workaholic self. So I was like, and then Mike Sommerfors was talking to me a little about what he does. I'm like, let's try it out. It sounds too good to be true, right? But you never know. So I tried it out, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I love this. Like, I am 100% in this thing. I just can't wait. I plan on next year going full time. I'm gonna leave a paramedic job because I just like feeling truly happy doing this job. Oh man, it's just like living life versus just doing what you have to do, doing your duties every day. Going through the same flow. This is like just living, and that's what I love about it so much. So.
Yeah, and you started doing some building now. So when you first started, it sounds like you were more just looking at it as, let me get my license. I can make some sales. What is it that caught your eye in terms of the business side of it as well, and what really showed you the bigger picture?
Yeah, so I mean, just seeing Linda's team and being part of Linda, and just seeing all the people around it, it's like, that'd be awesome if I had my own, right? The money side of it's great, but just bringing more people to experience what I'm experiencing, and like just giving them that opportunity to grow a business with them as well, and then just them growing their life, like just getting out of that, what I was going through, just doing a job. Like I wanted other people to experience what I'm experiencing because it's just so good. And, and I just can't wait to build a team. I have 2 people in class right now. I got another person I'm talking to, and I'm just not going to stop until I get a big team. I'm just going to keep going.
Awesome. Okay. So, Beth, what did you see? Obviously, we've been with Andy and Jane quite a number of years. And we kind of got the vision of being business owners early in our marriage, early in our career, early in our time with Andy and Jane. It wasn't necessarily through insurance or the Alliance, but what was it that kind of caught your eye about the opportunity that kept you from giving up? Because it sure wasn't the results I was producing that kept her from giving up. So what was it you saw, all those years ago that you knew we would be able to, take advantage of and live the benefits of?
Well, Andy and Jane have always created that environment of hope. How many times has Andy said to us, "Oh, when you get my age, life is going to be just incredible." And there's 5 years difference between us. So we were always chasing their age, and we have not always matched their success when we've gotten to the next level, but there's always been that hope. And they have been so good at loving us where we were, that they, Andy didn't stop and sit around and wait for us to hatch. He went out and built a business that gave us an example to follow. And he just kept saying, I believe in you, you can do it. And so just being around that environment, and look, our background is education. We were both school teachers, and in North Carolina, the only way we get a pay increase is if the state legislature deems us so worthy. It doesn't matter how good we are. It doesn't matter how many people we affect. It just matters what does the state budget look like that year. And so we wanted a place that ultimately we could control. And we haven't always done the best job with that, but we have the possibility. We have the ability to go out and change whatever story you're living today. You have the tools in your hand to go change that story. You get to write the chapters that you want to write. And it's because this business gives you that opportunity. So if you're like gung-ho, ready to go, then by gosh, get out there and work and go do it. And if you're like, I just feel better being around this group of people, then keep getting around this group of people, because it will grow the dream inside of you to the point where you will make the changes you need to make to be successful.
Yeah. And, one of the things we've always said is this business is caught, not taught. Now we teach. There's plenty of education. Gina Hawk's unbelievable training, the Alliance University, Chris Norris and everything he brings to the table with the annuity side, Ivy Wilson with the Medicare side. I mean, it's just incredible how much education we have provided for us. But ultimately, it's when this business goes from your head into your heart that this thing becomes real. Dalen, talk to us a little bit about your background. And when you came to us, you had a good job. It was, well, a lot of people would look at your life, yours and Eli's life, and say, hey, they're doing pretty good. She has a great steady job. She's in management. She's, she works hard, but I mean, you're supposed to work hard. This is America. That's what you're supposed to do. So what is it you were looking for, and what is it you initially saw in terms of seeing the Alliance?
Yeah. So when my cousin Dan called me, I was an assistant manager of Aldi's, which is a worldwide grocery chain, making $19 an hour, right? Keeping track of about 15 people, and just working myself to death. And it was a good job, good money, but I didn't have any time with my family. I have 3 wonderful and amazing children, and my littlest, at the time, he was just 3 years old. And when mommy comes home, mommy doesn't have any energy to chase you around the house and to play like kids need to be played with, because I'm, working 14 hours starting at 5 a.m. throwing truck, it just brutal existence, and so when Dan called me, I was like, yeah, I could check it out. It sounds like it might be cool. And Linda sowed that vision into me of freedom, and that you can't create stress at this job, which I have admittedly found a couple of ways, but I avoid those now. And but just having the capacity to take control of my life and control of what I'm spending my time on, and not allowing other people to dictate if I get to go to my daughter's choir practice, choir recital. If I get to take my son, to the bowling alley for his birthday because, oh gosh, I have to work a double since 2 people called in. I don't have to do that anymore. I have the capability to go and create a future for my kids that Aldi was never going to give me. I was, you talk about being capped. If I wanted to take the heat from the district managers, I could have gone and gotten my own store, making, quite a good amount of money for doing the same job. But I didn't want to have that shield taken away, where management's breathing down your neck all the time. I just didn't want that. So, just the piece here and the constant, like, we can help you grow. And, the, like you were just saying, the education, the wisdom, Going back to the basics, I'm reading the 8 steps again, because there's just always something in there that I didn't catch the last time I read it. So just opportunity, unlimited opportunity. It's wonderful.
Yeah, that's awesome. And the common theme is this. First of all, here's what I would tell you. And understand, we're looking for busy people. You know why? Busy people get stuff done. Matt had 4 things going on before the alliance. Dalen was already working 80 hours a week. Keith and Linda were coming off of a business that had them working 100+ hours a week on a regular basis. Crystal, your background, were you working 2 jobs at the time you came to us as well?
No, I was working just in the hospital in the emergency department, but it was during COVID, so they offered a lot of shift differentials to pick up extra shifts. So I picked up a crap ton of shifts.
So how many hours a week were you putting in at the hospital?
Over 60.
Over 60.
Yeah.
And working in not the most ideal conditions,
No.
through a pandemic, all of that. So what is it that you saw when you first came to us here at the Alliance? And just so everybody knows, Crystal has only been with us her first month in business. She's only been with us about 3 months now. In fact, I know exactly how long. She turned in her first application 13 weeks ago, because one of the things we track is consistency. And Crystal has turned in business 13 weeks out of 13 possible weeks. She has not missed a week of turning in business. And, obviously you had a medical background. Did you have any sales background coming into the Alliance?
No, I mean, not really. I sell Cincy on the side for coffee money. But I mean, other than that, no.
Okay. But you're very coachable, and you got a tremendous work ethic, and you're not scared. And she posted over 12,000 issue paid her first month in business. So one of the things I'll tell you guys is this: it does not take. You don't have to wait to make money with the Alliance. You don't have to slowly ramp up. You can start off quick. And Crystal is a great example of that. So Crystal, what is it you saw with the Alliance that made you take a chance and leave the hospital to jump into business with us?
Honestly, I looked at the whole flexibility of your work schedule. In the hospital, they say you work Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you work Friday, Saturday, Sunday. There's no ifs, ands, buts about it. If you don't work it, or if you are sick, or something's wrong with grandma or whatever, they don't care. You'll get written up. And for me, I did need something a little bit more flexible, but I also looked at the money aspect of what could happen as far as my future goes. As a CNA, I was going to school for paramedic. As that, you can only go but so high. Where this building, the amount that you can go is huge. You can keep growing, and there's no cap. And like I said, the biggest thing was the flexibility. If something happens to my grandma, or if my grandma has an appointment, I can go take care of that and then go right back to work.
Yeah, and what I keep hearing over and over again is the flexibility, but it's not so I don't have to work as much.
Correct.
And that's what I'm seeing with these folks in particular that we have on the call. They didn't want to be less busy. They just wanted more control. Dan, now you hired Dalen, and that's part of what we're going to be talking about, today is, how to build that leg. We'll get to the how in just a little bit. Right now, I want to keep talking about why it's important. What is the vision that caught people's minds that got people wanting to build a $500,000 leg. But you were very successful in another company that had nothing to do with us. And you were working with us on a part-time basis, and for years, you kept hanging around, and you do some work with us, but you were kind of 1 foot in, 1 foot out. But you went to a conference, and what was it at that conference that got you to pick up the phone and call Dalen? You're muted.
I'm muted.
There
Okay.
you go.
I don't know. It just really excited me. We just laughed about it this week. I was in that other business. I was doing Medicare with another company, and I was very successful over there. And I like the aspect of Medicare as far as helping people. I really love that part of it. And to me, the biggest thing is forming relationships, with my people I work with, my clients. I mean, I have genuine relationships with these folks. And so, I mean, that's huge. But just the opportunity I saw. And then I thought, first person I thought it was Dalen. It's probably the smartest call I've ever made, is calling Dalen. I'm so proud of her. She's been amazing. So she's doing great work. And I know she's going to go a lot bigger than what she's doing right now. So I'm looking forward to that and working with her, forever. So that's kind of what I saw.
So what do you see for yourself now? Because I know now you're full-time with us. And to me, this is a great example of, there wasn't anything that was said to you. You weren't taught a new technique or anything. You just kind of caught the vision by hanging around. And then, and I know Linda's been telling you're recruiting like crazy, getting people fast-tracked all over the country, and got a big team coming on board, and, can't wait to see what it looks like 90 days from now. But what is it that kind of expanded your vision?
Well, to me, when I first got into insurance, I've done insurance with other companies, and the thing I looked at was, one, residual income, and two was passive income. Those are the two main things. And I've worked in a lot of different companies where they provided, before I was working with a company where I had the residual income, but not the passive income. With this, there's really no negative to this. You can build a team as big or as small as you want. You can go out and get as many clients as you want. There's no limit to what you can do. That was very appealing to me. Work hard now to get that freedom later was a big aspect as well.
Absolutely. Andy calls that delayed gratification. And he also calls it maturity. That is a sign of maturity. So yeah, that's great. So what I love about us is this: it's a twofold opportunity. You have the sales side. So I mean, if there are people on this call, there are people here that all they really wanted was just a good sales job, the flexibility that you've heard about, the ability to make a six-figure income on their schedule. And, we got leads, we got top contracts, we got the carriers, we got the products, everything you need to be successful in a sales job. But I've heard Andy talk about some of the limitations of jobs. And even a job with the Alliance in terms of the sales job is, it's capped, it's limited, because you can only sit with so many people. You can only write, and Megan Wood is stretching the definition of limited, but even Megan Wood is going to eventually be capped out on how much she can personally write herself. It's self money. It's self-driven. It's based on your ability to go out there and perform and help families and do those things. And if you God forbid, you lost that ability to go out there and see people, that ability to go out there and communicate with people, if you get into a car accident or something crazy happens and you can't go out and physically work, you are out of luck until you heal up. And so the ability, those are just a couple limitations in terms of the sales job of what we do. And so now, do we have people making $250,000 a year plus just on sales? Absolutely. Do we have people making $500,000 on sales only? Absolutely, we do. Especially when you factor in the annuity money and high-end IULs and everything you have access to. So you can make quite a lot of money doing that. But what I love about the opportunity Andy has created here at the Alliance is the business side that goes hand in hand with the sales side. And so it's two sides of the coin, and it really comes down to what is the benefit of being in business, being able to develop business. Well, it's system-driven money. It's system-driven. Your ability to get other people to execute a system is going to determine how high you go in this company. It's unlimited in the sense that you can always hire one more person. We're in all 50 states. We have leads all over the country. You know, with our partnership with Integrity, we now have access to more and more different resources than we've ever had before. And so it truly becomes an unlimited, uncapped opportunity, because the more people you hire, the more hours your business is open. You know, if you take a top salesperson, let's say they're working 80 hours a week, then they have their business is open. Their shingle is up 80 hours a week. But if you build a team, you know, like a Paul Roberts has built, like a Stephen Davies has built, like an Andy Riddle has built, like a Levin Tovich has built, when you build a team with 100 agents out there, let's say they're all only part-timers, just, you know, like they're full-time paramedics. They got stuff at home. And they're all just putting in 20 hours a week, but you got 100 agents doing 20 hours a week. Your business is open for business 2,000 hours a week versus the 80 hours a week that somebody else is open. Who has the higher upside? And that's something that we saw from the very beginning. And you know, that's one of the things that always caught my attention and got me excited, was the opportunity that we can actually build something. And you know, as a school teacher, I didn't have the opportunity to build anything. You know, I was just, I taught school for 10 years, but the reality is, you know, I didn't have 10 years experience teaching school. I had 1 year experience 10 times over. It was the same thing year after year after year. You know, in fact, I used the same notes because it was history. History didn't change. You know, it's kind of already happened. Somebody slanting on history might change, but the history, you know, so I was using the same notes, and it just becomes, it's like, what am I doing? And so that's what I love about the Alliance here. The ability to just create that lifestyle. Emily just graduated college. Emily Katz did a great job on stage at Family Reunion. So Emily, you kind of grew up in this environment. You've grown up with Andy and Jane as big figures in your life. You've seen the lifestyle that we've led. And what is it you dream of? What is it that got you? What is it you decided to do the Alliance? Because you got a college degree, you got a degree from NC State, you can do a lot of things. What is it that through the last 10 years of your life that you always knew this was where you wanted to plant your flag?
I think the biggest thing is just vision of tomorrow. Because I mean, going through college and just growing up, you always look around at, oh, what's this person doing for work, all this stuff. And there's a lot of cool jobs out there, but there's none that creates this vision that we have, this vision that tomorrow can be better than today. And I remember you got us to create dream boards whenever I was in 5th grade. And so I've had these like massive dreams, and it's like nowhere else can I go to accomplish these. And I'm not ready to let any of these go. Like I want to chase after these harder and harder. And like I want to travel the world. One of my dreams is to go to all 7 continents. And you can't do that whenever you have to ask off work every other day to go on vacation or anything like that. It's just the freedom to travel, and just watching you guys always go, and just seeing the sacrifices that you made traveling around the country to see agents, and then just the progress that came out of that, just the impact that it has on everybody. There's no community out there that I could find that would be anything better than this. And I just wanted something where I could really be whoever I wanted to be.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Not like obviously Emily and Crystal and Matt, you guys do not have kids. What would you like? And I don't know if you're planning to have. I know Emily is.
Ring first.
Ring first. Do it in the right order. Not that there's anything wrong with the other order. But what is it you want? Put yourself 5 years in the future, 10 years in the future. You have your family, you have your kids. What is it you want your lifestyle to look like? Have you thought that far, and what you can accomplish here? Crystal, let's start with you.
So actually, ever since the convention, my husband and I have been talking about what our goals are in the next 5 years. And so, you know, we want to be completely 100% out of debt, say goodbye to the credit cards and not rely on those anymore. We want to be able to purchase our own home. And my husband actually would like to come onto the business side with me to to help me out. My husband's a mechanic, and he doesn't want to turn wrenches forever. And so, but most importantly, we don't want our children to grow up the way we grew up, where my husband, ever since Katrina, he's probably lived in over 5 different houses every single year, leaving a hotel room in the middle of the night because they can't afford to pay the hotel bill. My husband has lost all of his things during Katrina, and he learned that what he kept could fit in his book bag. And, you know, he doesn't want to worry about that anymore. Like for me growing up, I grew up with a single mom. I had 2 brothers with me, and, you know, we didn't have a whole lot, but we could make $10 last a whole week of groceries. And that's just how I grew up. And, you know, in school, like I couldn't do school events because I didn't want to ask mom. I didn't want her to go work an extra shift at her second job to be able to afford that little thing that we wanted. I didn't get new things. And that didn't bug me, so to speak. It put me into the person I am today. But my husband and I, ultimately, we don't want our children to have to do the sacrifices that we did as kids. I think that's the biggest thing.
Yeah, absolutely. That's incredible, Crystal. Emily cannot relate to that. You got to go to Ireland and to Spain. And Andy and Jane's impact on our life and our children's lives is, you can't even put it into words. You know, I think about where we would be if we had not met Andy and Jane. And I told the story of how we ended up being able to meet Andy and Jane last week when I was traveling with Chris Hill and Terry Edwards and Brandon Manley. And you know, it was to think how thin a thread it is that we're here in Andy and Jane's world is scary. And, you know, talk about, you know, how our lives are different because of the association that we've been able to have with Andy and Jane. And you can talk about what the next chapter for us is as well.
Gosh, I am so thankful for Andy and Jane's influence in our life. First of all, just opening the doors of what's possible. I mean, it's kind of like picking up the Robb Report and flipping through the pages, and you're like, who would ever pay, was it $200,000 for a ballpoint pen? But just knowing that it's out there for somebody who wants it and who has the money to do it, like it's possible. And so Andy and Jane started us early dreaming. Now, before Adam and I, when we got married, one of our dreams was that I wanted to be able to stay at home. I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. I didn't want to have to ship the kids off to daycare. I didn't want to see I didn't want that life. And honestly, with a school teacher's salary, everything I would have been making was going to be paying out the daycare. And so we were like, we want something that will make it possible for me to stay home. And our connection with Andy and Jane put us in the position that we felt like we have a way that we can make that happen. And so I have been able to be a stay-at-home mom, and I've been able to be at all the school events and do all the things that the kids wanted to do and invest in them and love them and be there for the crisis moments, because kids and crisis go hand in hand. But but just to be able to be there and be part of it, and then for Adam to have that flexibility too. Not that he was at everything, because your job primarily was to build the business. But when the kids said, we really want daddy there, this is important, you know, it became a non-negotiable in your calendar, and Adam was always there. So I love that. In fact, that non-negotiable is a term that our kids have used. Emily had something coming up to graduation, and it was an event we hadn't heard of. And we're like, is this something, or is this something big or something not big? And I was like, all right, Emily, tell me how you feel about it. And she's like, well, love for you to be there, but let's just say it would not be a non-negotiable in daddy's calendar. So Adam did what he was supposed to be doing, and I went there and I was mom. But anyway, it's just been it's that seeing what's possible and seeing the different stories of people who are in different situations. I mean, listening to Crystal's story, what they she and her husband have overcome and what they want to provide for their kids. Like, I want to bust down walls to make that happen for them, because I feel like that's what Andy and Jane have done for us, is that they have allowed us to live a life that when we got married and we graduated college and we got married and we didn't have jobs and it was a hiring freeze. And so, I mean, we literally, when we said for richer or for poor, we thought we were going to spend most of that life on the poor side. Thankfully, Adam's family gave cash as wedding presents, so that helped get us to the first paycheck. But it's been the fact that we don't have to live the same way. And so here's what I'm excited about, is that we send Andrew off to college. He's going to UNC Chapel Hill. We move him in on Saturday. And my chapter as a stay-at-home mom comes to an end. I'm still mom, because I'm always going to love my kids and be there for them. But that chapter of stay-at-home mom comes to a close. But we have built something through the Alliance, through Andy and Jane talking about how we can operate together as a couple. And this is our business, even when I haven't been fully, I haven't been doing the selling and recruiting all these years, that this is our business and we've been building something. So I'm talking to lots of moms who's getting ready to send their kids off to college, and there's this identity struggle. Like, what am I going to do now? Who am I now? I don't know. What do I do when I get up in the morning after I drop them off in college? I don't have that. Like, we have a vision for our life. Jane always taught me that you want your children to hit milestones, that Andrew going away to college is what's supposed to happen, that he is supposed to leave. The kids are supposed to leave the nest. And so, yes, I've been going down memory lane this week. Poor Adam. And I've had those moments, but I have joy in my heart that Andrew is capable and well educated, and he's independent, and he's able to go out there, just like we launched Sarah and Emily. That I've done my job, therefore they need to leave. Like, that is what's supposed to happen. And Jane's always instilled in me that, hey, let him go mentality. But so now those responsibilities don't hold me back. Now we're focused on partner. Now we have the obligation to go out and help more people live the life that Adam and I have been able to live. I was going to say one more thing. I was just thinking about, Emily, I think it was you. Did you talk to Andy one day on an activity bus?
Yes.
Were you considering, is it when you were trying to decide about going to state, or when you're deciding about going to Isaac Bear?
I was trying to figure out whether I wanted to go to my district high school where all my friends and everybody I knew was going, or the early college high school that my sister Sarah had gone to. And Andy won't make decisions for you, but he is a great coach at kind of getting your thought process right. And so I had texted him and I was like, hey, got a decision to make. Can you help me out? And so he called me right before I was leaving for a science Olympiad competition. And he was like, what do you want the next 5 years of your life to look like? What are your goals down the road? And I was like, I want to be in the business. Like, he's like, okay, well, there you go. And so I realized that I wanted to get through college quick so that I could get into this business quick. And so that kind of helped solidify my goals. And so even though I was leaving everything comfortable, I knew what my mission was.
And I love that, first of all, that Andy was willing to talk to Emily as an 8th grader. And the call happened when Emily was on an activity bus, which, middle school kids, an activity bus, it's not a quiet background, but he ignored the background noise and focused in on Emily. And his message to my kids, his message to Adam and me, his message to all of us is, he's not going to tell us what to do, but he wants you to be the best you can be. And just watching, I remember him telling Emily, like, I'm going to love you no matter what you decide, but I love that you want to pursue greatness, whatever that greatness looks like. And that's been the message that we've just gotten through the Alliance. And it's why we want to build a team, because we think more people reaching more people, getting that message out is how we heal the country.
Yeah, absolutely. When you're in business together, it doesn't matter what side of the political divide you fall on. You don't care what religion they are. You don't care what race they are. You don't care who they voted for in the last election. You don't care, because you have a common goal and a common vision, and we're united in our war on poverty. And you know, that's what I love about the Alliance is that. So Matt, talk to us. You're married. You guys are very young. No kids yet. Are you planning to have kids? Is that in the future?
Oh yeah, my wife
Okay.
keeps pushing back the date, but it's in the future.
So give me the dream. What does the dream look like in terms of like 5 years down the road, 10 years down the road? What does the Hughes family look like?
Oh man, so I mean, 5 years on the road, you know, I'm already feel like I'm going up in this business. I'm not just gonna keep on going. Medicare is hitting, and I'm just gonna, oh man, I'm gonna take advantage of that and growing a team and everything. So 5 years from now, I want to have a big team. I want to have my wife's dream house. I want to have everything that she wants, and then be just financially free, right? I have more time spent with my wife. Her life goal is to travel, and I'm like, all right, so I'm close to winning those Alaska cruise. Let's go. You know, let's get you started. You know, so it's gonna be, yeah, man. So 5 years from now, just have a nice home, have a couple kids, have a growing business, just super successful business. Everyone's happy, everyone's motivated, everyone's inspired. You know. And that's just all I want, right? Just a good life with my wife and inspire others.
Do you know what your wife's dream house looks like? Have you talked about it?
Yeah, I know. She keeps sending me houses, right?
Okay.
Look at this one. Okay, we can't sell for this one. Here's this one. I was like, that's $300,000 more. What are you talking about? So, but yeah, just like multi-level home. Like, we definitely want a big front yard, backyard specifically for her family, because her family gets big get-togethers and stuff. So like a pool, big backyard where we can hang around and grill, and open fire pit and stuff like that. But yeah, just, I mean, I guess the houses would be huge, but you know, big area where we can all hang out. Family can hang out, especially if we had that, my team can hang out. We're gonna come and have meetings, you know, have events like that. So there you go.
Awesome. Well, you know, we define freedom as this: having control of your time and money. It's not freedom from work; it's freedom to work as much as you want to work. But it's also it's control. You know, it's if you have a lot of money, but you don't have any time, then you're just a high-paid servant. If you have a lot of time but you have no money, then you're just stuck at home. And you know, I've been you know, as school teachers, we had plenty of time. You know, we had summers off. We just didn't have any money to go anywhere. You know, and that was no fun. And then I look at my brother; he's a very successful doctor, and he does very well. But you know, he's on call every other weekend. They have very limited time to do things as a family. And so, what Andy showed us was this balance of being able to do both of those things. Okay, so and I know some of you are like, all right, well, when are you going to get to how to do it? This is how you do it. And we're going to cover some things. Don't get me wrong. We got some. I got some bullet points we're going to go through with you. But this is how you do it. Because here's what we know: if the why is big enough, if the dream is big enough, the facts don't count. You will find a way. If what you want is so big. You know, I've heard Andy say this so many times. The size of your dream will determine the size of the obstacle that will take you out. And if you have a dream the size of a pea, then a couple no's on a phone call, you know, a no-show at the house, somebody saying they're going to get licensed and never sign up for class, those things they'll take you out because you just don't have a big enough reason, a big enough why, a big enough dream. So we always encourage, work on your dream, work on your vision, work on your why. All right, so what are the things to do? Well, what does Andy do? We talked about duplicate before. What does Andy do? Well, he just changed the comp program to give us an even bigger vision. Stephen, if you could pull up the new comp grid, the new levels grid real quick. I just want to point out a couple quick things to you guys. So if you could scroll down to the bonus points, yeah, right there. So from the time you get started on a 55% contract all the way up to an 80% contract. So Matt talked about his wife wants to travel, and let me tell you this, if you are brand new, if you don't even have a license yet, you can qualify for the Alaskan cruise with only needing 65,000 points. The trip requires 125,000 points, but at brand new person, you get 10,000 points if your first application is with Foresters or with CFG. By the way, you can write it on yourself so you can control who the policy goes. Then you get points for each level up to key leader. So at 5,000, 12,500, 20,000, 25,000, and 50,000, you're going to get an additional 5 more bonus connections, 50,000 more points. So you'll get 60,000 bonus points towards that 125,000 point cruise. Every single person that can hear my voice, every person you talk to this week, you ought to be telling them about the Alaskan cruise because there's no reason why they can't go. Matt Hughes issued paid 14,000, almost 15,000 last month while working full-time as a paramedic. He spent 96 hours on an ambulance and still turned in $5,500 that week. So if Alaska becomes a dream, if that becomes your why, you can make it happen. Oh, by the way, annuities count 10%. So you write a $100,000 annuity, that's 10,000 points. IULs, full credit up to target premium. I mean, it's just crazy how doable Andy has made it. I almost said easy, but easy, you still got to do it. Easy means you don't have to try. You're still going to have to try, but it's simple. It's so simple. Here's the other thing I want to show you. Agency manager, $25,000 issue paid production, 2 consecutive months, gets you 85 contract, agency manager ring. You get one of these rings. You'll be on stage at national convention with 2,000 people cheering for you, calling your name, clapping, going crazy when you get your agency manager ring. All it takes is $25,000 issue paid production, 2 consecutive months. Look at junior board member, $250,000. And you get one of those big bodacious rings. Andy Riddle got his at family reunion, and he said, that's more diamonds than I thought. It is a gorgeous ring, and Beth and I can't wait till we get those. But what I'm most excited about coming up at National Convention is going to be the number of leaders on our team that's going to walk across stage and get their agency managing. And they're not going to qualify AM. They're going to go across as national managers and vice presidents and EVPs. The other thing I want to show you is Glow Bonus is still here. So Andy cut production requirements to earn the contracts by 50%. Don't forget, in December last year, he gave us a 22% across the board increase in compensation on the grid. And then he cut promotion schedules by 50%, and he left Glow Bonus intact. Where all you got to be is Glow eligible and help your person be Glow eligible, and you're going to make 8% on top of the other override money you're making. Even if somebody builds a bigger business and passes you, you're still going to make 8% as long as you're Glow eligible. It's the craziest thing. So now he's made it so simple. The why should become so clear. Clarity. Tim Goad talks about, if you have clarity, nothing can stop you. Growth is inevitable where confusion is kept out. And there's no confusion. All you need. So the comp program, here's the key. Here's the key. You need, you can only get 50% of your credit from one organization, from one leg. So you need to have 2 legs. That's it. You don't need 6 legs. You don't need 28. 2 legs. You drive it all the way down. Half your volume comes from one leg. Half your volume comes from the other leg. And you can go all the way up to chairman's council member, earn a 140 contract with 2 legs. So how do we build those 2 legs? Okay. Here's how we're going to build those 2 legs. We're going to go see people. What does Andy Albright do? He gets on his plane and he goes see people. He's going to be in. Let me just read this out real quick. Next week, he is going to be in Orlando, Florida, on the 16th. The 16th would be Monday. Monday during the day, he's going to be in Orlando. That night, he's going to be in Atlanta. Now you got to have your own plane to keep this schedule, but he does. He's okay. So Orlando on Monday day, Atlanta, Georgia, Monday night. On Tuesday, they're going to boogie on from Atlanta. They're going to go over to Denver, Colorado, and do a day training there. And that night, they're going to do a meeting in Las Vegas. They're going to pop over to Vegas and do a night meeting there. Then the next morning, they're going to wake up and they're going to fly. Andy's going to fly to San Antonio, Texas, and do a day meeting down in San Antonio. And then he will end up that evening in El Paso, Texas, on the other side of the state. That's on Wednesday, the 18th. And then on the 19th, he's going to be in Nashville, Tennessee. He'll fly from El Paso to Nashville for some day training. And then he's going to end up in Winston-Salem, Terry Edwards' office that evening on that Thursday. And then he'll be in Fort Lauderdale, Florida on the 20th to do more day training. That is a heck of a week. He's going to put some miles on that gas. He's going to put some gas in that plane, and he's going to use some of that. But here's what he does. He goes to see the people. He goes to see the people. Why? He could do Zoom calls. He can just stay on the phone. He does that all the time anyway. Why take the time? Why? Why is that important? Linda, talk about the value of going to meet people, breaking bread with people, seeing people eyeball to eyeball, kneecap to kneecap, versus just Zoom calls and talking to people on the phone.
Absolutely. I think whenever Andy has come to see us, or we've sent people when he's out traveling, we try to get people in front of him. They always have just a different perspective, or perception rather, of him. I always hear, oh, I get him now. And it just adds another level of dimension when you see him on the Zoom call, and when you see him on, when you hear a conference call, because now you have it's like the banana. What does a banana taste like? I don't know. You have to eat it, right? It's the same thing. You have to show up and experience it to know what that does for us. But it's real, and it's tangible, and it's so helpful. Like, how we all just came back from conference, and we have just a different feel in us about what we're headed out to go now and do. And it's that same thing when you see Andy or yourself, Adam, when any of the leadership comes and travels, it's always impactful. But when you get in front of somebody that has done what you're running to go do, and then especially Andy, who has designed what we're all running after, you have just a new sense about it, and then just about the possibilities of it, and then everything else you get over the just the normal media, the Zooms and things, you'll get it in an even more impactful way. So go to the meetings, get people in front of him in meetings, and then when they leave, they even get that. It's kind of like a time release capsule, right? You just keep getting more of it, because now when you see him on the Zoom call, you're like, oh, I know this. I know what he was doing. I mean, when you watch Andy, like you watch in a meeting, and you'll watch how he sits and stands and engages people, it's just a whole different, you just have a whole different appreciation for it. And then when you're seeing him, one-dimensionally on a Zoom call, you get it. You get it better. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Crystal, so this was you haven't been with us all that long, and Family Reunion was your first bigger conference, bigger meeting. Talk to us about what difference that made, being able to see the leaders up close, being able to talk to the leaders at lunches and in the hallways and things like that. What difference did that make, being able to meet them and touch them, they were real, shake their hands, versus, seeing them on the Wednesday calls and the activity calls all through the week and being able to pull up old videos of them?
Honestly, like before, when I would go back through and like watch the videos, I wasn't understanding. Like I was getting bored watching, like whatever, like this is like going to school, and that's boring. But then but then whenever I went to the spring summit, and then whenever I went to Wilmington for you guys, and then I started meeting these people and like hearing them speak in person, then now I look forward to these Wednesdays calls and these other calls, because now I understand it. Especially I see the person talking, like I can picture them in person, and I can actually apply it because I understand what it is that they're actually talking about. And I did not get it by watching, a previous video. Like I said, it was boring. But then whenever actually being involved with it, I was able to enjoy it and know exactly how to apply it.
That's awesome. Dan?
I think for me, you see these people on Zoom calls and everything else, and you put them on this level up here, and they've earned this level, and they've earned my respect for sure. But then when you meet them in person, it's like they're just people. I mean, they're just like me. Anybody can do this. I mean, it's not like, you understand what I'm saying? It's like they are still on the pedestal because they've reached these levels, but they're still just people, and you can relate to them, and the relatability made it huge for me. So.
Yeah, when you see their ties undone the wrong way, or their shirt pulled out from their pant leg, or they got toilet paper on their shoe walking through the convention center, it's just like, all right, maybe you don't need to be that sharp to pull this thing. And yeah, there is that believability that levels the playing field for you. So that's definitely huge. Dalen, obviously you brought your husband and your daughter to the last family reunion, and that's not the first time they've come to these events. Why do you feel, what is it about traveling? What is it about people coming to do meetings that you feel adds so much value for you?
I think that there is so much to be said about the energy and the expectation. You don't, like Crystal was saying, you walk into school and you're like, I'm just here because I have to be. But when you're traveling, you're going with the expectation that something's going to change, that something's going to give. Linda always talks about, like, you never know, and you do too. You never know when you're going to like catch that one phrase, that one little nugget that's going to absolutely change everything. And that happened to me. Andy came a couple years ago when I was still struggling to get through class, and Paul Roberts got up and was talking about, is it important that you change your life? And I don't know if I would still be here if I hadn't gone to that meeting expecting to hear something. And man, did I. So just having that atmosphere, where other people are so expectant, like you said, you catch it, you grab a hold of it. Like I can grab a hold of your belief in me that I can be successful, that I can go partner, that I can have a team and reach out to people, like Matt was saying, and change other people's lives and do for them what my cousin did for me when he just happened to make a phone call. The intentionality of going into an atmosphere expecting there to be a catalyst there that's going to change everything for me. So I have high expectations when I go to meetings, and I try and sew that into my team. And my husband gets things like when he hears Tim Goad speak, we're really active in our church, like listening with the expectation that he's going to learn something. My oldest daughter, her too, she doesn't know quite where she fits in the world yet, but she's like, man, I've learned so much being around these people and learning new things and understanding what's possible in the world. So
that's awesome. And here's the other key to that is, thank God Paul Roberts was willing to leave Dallas and fly to Kansas City to do that meeting. Because if Paul wasn't willing to travel, if he, as a leader, he wasn't willing to get out of his comfort zone and travel and go see people and go serve people, then Dalen would have never heard that statement. So that's awesome. Emily, you had lots of choices when you graduated from state, where you could live and where you could be. What was it that, what was it about, how did you end up picking where you ended up?
You guys have just always instilled in me just the power of association and being intentional about who you choose to be around and who you're following. And so whenever Andy moved down to Treasure Island, I was like, shoot, he's not in Burlington anymore. He's not right around the corner. And I was like, I have such big dreams for where I want to be in the next 5-10 years. And the best way I know to do that is to get around people who are where I want to be in life. And so I was talking to Andy and I was like, I want to come be near you. I want to come be near the Florida team, and just being in the office with Brian Rojas, Stephanie Rodriguez, Michelle Colin, everybody there is just so supportive. And it's just like Mike Hart lives in the office next to me, and just listening to him recruit, it's just like I'm picking up so many new things. It's just the power of association, just like how people talk to people. And it's just really cool to see myself growing. And I know I'm not going to get that same level of growth by just staying in my comfort zone. So I decided to move 10 hours away from everything I knew.
And I know you are finding it worthwhile. And those little times where Andy just happens to come into the office when you're there. You don't get that living in Wilmington. He's not going to randomly come strolling through my office like he will down in Treasure Island. So
although he has a plane, so he could.
He could.
One day
He
pop
does
in.
it for sure. So getting around the people, that is huge. So traveling to see people, traveling to see your people as you recruit. We are a national company. Leverage the team. Find out who's in that area. See if you can leverage Andy always says this: make a friend before you meet a friend. Leverage the relationships you build to help your organization grow and be leverageable as well. What does that mean? That means, like, if somebody hires somebody in Wilmington, all they have to do is ask, and I'll have a cup of coffee with somebody. If I can serve somebody else's team, all you got to do is ask. And so build those relationships so that you have people in local areas. But don't be afraid to get on an airplane or to drive your car and go see people and break bread with them. And because that is one of the biggest keys to building that relationship. And relationship ultimately is what trumps everything else in this business. If you can build relationships, you can build businesses. Andy has a T-shirt made that says build a friendship, but you build a DM-ship, direct district managership. And so using that power of association, but you being the one being the example, going out and serving and going out and seeing people. I just booked flights. I'm going to be in Houston and in Arkansas and Missouri and Michigan, at the end of the month. I'm just booking my flights now. And Beth, you've always seen me get out and go. What is the value that you've seen in me going and leaving, and obviously watching Andy and Jane their whole life?
My perception of investing in people changed by watching how much Andy left his house and went. And thankfully, because we were close geographically at that time, then Adam hopped in the car a lot. If Andy said, "Hey, you want to go for a ride?" Adam always said yes. And I was you look at my parents, they never do anything separate. And so I kind of thought when Adam and I got married that we would do everything together. And then suddenly he's hopping in the car and driving all kinds of hours with this crazy Andy Albright. But who Adam became through that was phenomenal. Like he became the warrior hero that was going to slay our dragons because he went out and did. And so, seeing Andy go and then Adam going alongside Andy and watching how Andy interacted, equipped Adam so that you went out and then could lead other people. The stories you've told just about how watching that you guys much from the listening to how Andy talked on the phone, as you got more almost from that than what you got in the meeting that he was presenting at. But just watching that that level of interaction and the kinds of questions he asked, and I think that's the power of the association, the breaking bread together, the being like when you see Andy walk into a room of people and there's a little child there and Andy gets down on his knees and talks to the child eyeball to eyeball, not just this big guy, he's just being real, that you see that I don't want to say nonverbal, but just watching how he carries himself makes a huge difference. And so seeing that Andy leaving the house led to them having success makes me want to say, go. And now I can sometimes go with him. That's going to be fun.
That's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to traveling with Beth to a lot of these places. So, all right. So you go see the people, drive depth, do work with people. Don't just be the sage on the stage. Actually get down in the trenches with them and do some work with them. Make some phone calls for them, interview some people with them. Get on their Facebook, pull their Facebook up and say, hey, who's that guy? Let's give him a call, see if he's looking to make some money. Do the work required to build this business. What I love about the new comp plan and the ability to just really grow all the way up with just the two legs is this. Now it's just become so basic and so simple. Drive depth. Just drive depth. We got to go to China. 29 deep, 60 deep, 65 deep. Well, however deep we got to go. And what I love about it is this. We now have everybody is incentivized to link arms and go down. So we got Linda, who hired Dan, who hired Dalen, and I'm coming to Kansas City, and I want to work with Dalen's new people, whether it's Ashley or Sarah or Quentin or whoever. But at the same time, I'm working, we have, Dalen has a reason to work there. Linda has a reason to work there. Dan has a reason to work there. And now 4 of us are focused in on growing that deepest, most excited part of the organization. And you can really tag team now with greater clarity, because all we need is the 2 legs. So we can all focus on driving those 2 legs straight down. And that can get you to the 140 contract. That can get you to chairman's board. That can get you to partner. So coach your people, inspire your people, connect with your people, go see them, break bread with them. And when you have coaching calls, when you're talking to people, get above surface level, get deeper than surface level. Don't just, hey, let me know if you need anything. I say that too many times. What can I do to serve you? Let's make some phone calls. Let's get on the phone. Hey, who you've been talking to? Let's get them on the phone right now. Be specific and don't just give basic platitudes. Tell them something specific to do. Give them something to do that they can improve themselves and they can improve their business. And our job is to ask questions that elicit those responses. Andy's always said this: the quality of your life will be determined by the quality of the questions you ask. So our job is to ask those questions that will get the advice that will get us to the next level. I'm always thinking, when I'm going to be around Andy, what can I ask him? And if we do these things, if we can coach people and we talk to them about real things, and we actually go in and do the work with them and help them grow, then you can go partner. You can go partner. Partner with Integrity Marketing. You've been invited to be a partner with Integrity Marketing. And it's not as big as you think anymore. When you had to think about the structure we needed and how am I going to get all that in place and how am I going to, now it's 2 legs. Drive 2 legs deep. Build your volume. Volume always comes out of depth anyway. Build your volume. Build your business big enough. Take advantage of the glow bonus. Take advantage of growing your business. Get the contracts. Be somebody Integrity Marketing, Brian Adams, wants to make a partner of. And then what does your life look like? Can you imagine? What if? Can you dream that? What does it look like when you get that multi-7-figure buyout? When you have multiple 7 figures in stock in Integrity Marketing? When you are partners with Andy Albright and Brian Adams and Paul Roberts and the next line of alliance leaders that are going partner? What does your life look like then? How much freedom is that? Think about what it looks like. Dream it today. Make it real. Burn it in your mind. My kids was that my birthday present? My kids for my birthday got me, they designed a picture based on the pictures that Integrity Marketing does for their new partners. Andy's Wolfpack. Mine is the Hebrew hammer. They got me the hammer. And it says newest Integrity partner. And it's right there. And I'm looking at it, and I'm afraid I'd mess everything up if I tried to show you on the computer. But I get to look at it every day I'm in my office and burn it into my head that we're going partner. And I need you to go partner with us. The Alliance needs you to go partner. Integrity Marketing needs you to go partner. This country needs you to go partner. Think about what your life looks like. Think about your dreams then. But it starts today. It starts today with the vision that you too can build a $500,000 organization, and that you too can drive 2 legs deep, and that you can travel and go serve people and go see people. Beth, wrap us up.
Well, the opportunity is here. The time is now. And as you, in your non-productive hours, take the time to clarify what that life looks like, go chase it with all that you have. You really are with the right people at the right time. And I love this Alliance family. I love the impact that the leaders make on our lives, on our kids' lives, on our team's life. And we need you to make that same impact. You matter. What you're going to do today sets the destiny for the rest of your life. So let's go out there. Let's get it. Let's go partner. Let's get it to happen. Love you guys.
Thank you, Andy and Jane Albright, for letting us talk today. Thank you to our team. We love you guys. Thank you for jumping on and being part of this call. Love your vision. Love your heart. Love where we're going together. Let's go to the top, guys. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye.
Recording stopped.